My name is Angel, and I went to UCLA for undergrad and Stanford for graduate school. Just a little bit more about me. I was a ShareWorld alum, so I went to ShareWorld since third grade, and I went through the SAT classes, and that helped me a lot to get into UCLA. At UCLA, I studied Chinese literature and also East Asian studies, so I was a double major. And then after my undergraduate degree, I went to Stanford for a master's in international comparative education, and I currently work at a Chinese textbook company in Palo Alto. Let's see, so who has been to UCLA? Who has visited UCLA? Okay, I see a couple. Nobody else in this corner have visited UCLA? Okay, well, I really recommend visiting because the tours will give you a different experience from what I will be sharing with you today. Today is more about my personal experiences, what I kind of did at UCLA, and some of the things I encountered. This picture here is Royce Hall. Royce Hall is very dear to me because I spent a lot of my classes there. And one of the interesting things that they will also tell you on the tour is that this building is not supposed to be symmetrical. So if you look at the building, well, I'm sorry, it's kind of an angled picture, but you notice the left-hand side of the building only has 2 windows on one side, and on the other side there's only 3. And so this was supposed to be replicated from an international Italian church, and because they didn't want to copy the church, so they decided to make one side not the same as the other. So just to prove to them that it's not the same. So UCLA is a very, very, very big school. It's probably not as big as Berkeley. It's probably not as big as a lot of the other private universities that you see on campus and other campuses on the East Coast. But you can see it's kind of a small map, but the blue color on the left-hand side is where all the dorms are. So the dorms are all very centralized. There's different types of dorms. There's residential halls. There's private suites, and there's also like hotel room-like dorms. So when my parents came to visit me at UCLA, they were very excited because they always thought I was living in a hotel. On the red side is where it's called North Campus. North Campus is where all the social sciences are. So economics, art history, Chinese language, other languages, history. And then this purple side is where it's what we call South Campus. So South Campus is where all the sciences are, where engineering is, and where the green and kind of in between the red and the purple is the kind of the student activities union, so where all the students can get together and like have lunch or have other types of, group activities together. And then down in the very south is where we call Westwood. Westwood is a college town. And there's restaurants, so if you don't want to eat the dorms, you can go down there and eat. So I really recommend going to actually visit this place because this map does not do justice as to how awesome UCLA is and how beautiful the campus is. So just very, very quick statistics. UCLA is a very large school, but there's lots of undergraduates. Out of all the undergraduates, there's at least 55%, about 55% are women, 40% or so are male, and there is a name for UCLA besides University of California at Los Angeles, is that you see lots of Asians. So it's true, like there's about 33 or so percent of Asian Americans who are attending school, but then there are also about so when you're walking on campus, you're gonna hear a lot of Chinese, you're gonna hear a lot of Korean, you're gonna hear a lot of Japanese, and also English. But that's, the nickname. You see lots of Asians. This is what I pulled from the UCLA website, admissions website. They listed for the fall of 2010, the graduates, 38.9% graduated with a degree in social science, and 8.4% graduated with engineering. So, this is also largely dependent on how many people are attending the school, and the percentage of engineers at the school also is very different from the percentage of people who are graduating the College of Letters and Science. But it's just to show you, everybody here, that engineering is not the only degree. My parents actually didn't recommend me to be an engineer, even though my dad is an engineer. They said that I should pursue my interests, and so I did not become an engineer. Why UCLA? I actually pulled a couple of pictures from my personal files, so you see me, it's me. Why UCLA? UCLA is very close, but yet also very far from home. So if you see on the map here, it's about a 5-hour drive. So my mom speeds sometimes, so she can get here under like 4 hours. So she made it to my graduation in under 4. But that's not recommending everybody speed, but so that it's to prove to you that UCLA is very close. So my mom can come to visit me very often. UCLA is also a very beautiful campus, so it's beautiful in the daytime, and it's also very beautiful in the nighttime. Other things about UCLA. UCLA is known to be the top #1 or #2 school in the nation that has the best food. So your parents will never be worried that you will never go hungry because there's always food and it always tastes really good. So there are lots of dining facilities on campus. There's, because UCLA is also a very athletics-oriented school, they strongly encourage you to use their academic facilities. So there's tennis courts, there's a very nice gym, there's ellipticals, treadmills, places for you to play squash or racquetball, or also take other gym classes such as kickboxing and yoga. And so it's very, very encouraging to know that your school always wants you to stay healthy and eat healthy at the same time. Other places, all the buildings are very, very beautiful. There's lots of libraries for you to study at. This one down on the bottom left-hand corner is Powell. Powell at every hour plays music, so you'll know that it's the top of the hour. And inside Powell is also very beautiful. They've used UCLA to film many different films. If anybody has seen Legally Blonde, that was filmed at UCLA. And there's lots of different places for you to study, and it's always very quiet. Other reasons why you should go to UCLA. For all the different types of student groups. I was involved in 2 student groups when I was at UCLA. One was Tsuji, and then the other one was Kaseo. And Kaseo is a tutoring group that takes you outside of UCLA to go tutor kids in math in downtown Los Angeles. And the reason why I really liked attending all these different student groups is that because I didn't have a car, these groups took you to different places in LA, and so you got to see different parts of LA and different people, and then you also get to meet different friends. And the student groups also taught me how to cook, so that was kind of the good thing. So I cooked like really big meals for all the homeless people in downtown Los Angeles. And also, why UCLA is because of all the people that you meet on campus. Everyone is always very nice, and you get to develop very good relationships with your professors, which is also very useful for when you're applying for graduate school or applying for a job. And so I got to really know my Japanese teacher really well, because the first day that I attended her class, she played Japanese dramas to teach us how to speak Japanese. And so I immediately fell in love with her, and I attended all her office hours and got to know her really well, so she came to visit me during my graduation. And another thing about UCLA is, aside from going to UCLA, UCLA also takes you to different places. And so I strongly recommend for everybody who is thinking about attending a college is to also look at what kind of education programs that they will take you to abroad. So the EAP is a UC-oriented study abroad program, and the study abroad program allowed me to travel to Taiwan. And so I studied abroad in Taiwan my junior year, and I got to also meet new people, and it was kind of like a vacation in Taiwan because you get to travel around Taipei and also other parts of Taiwan. And if I go, the last reason why you should think about UCLA as a potential school is, who doesn't like the beach? Right? All the sun and the really old song saying that it never rains in Southern California is kind of true, because it barely rains, but there's always a really nice beach to go to when you don't feel like studying. Oh. So my next next school is Stanford. I don't know Stanford as well as UCLA because I was only there for 1 year versus 4 years. But has anyone visited Stanford? Okay, a little bit more, that's good. The reason why I like Stanford is because it's always really beautiful. This is one of my favorite pictures of Stanford. This is a memorial quad in the Oval. It's one of the main things that you see when you go into Stanford. And in the far back of the corner of the picture, you'll see the church, and that's where a lot of students who are affiliated with Stanford would also get married in. So Stanford is also a very, very, very big school. I spent most of my time in the education section of school, but a lot of our classes are also spread out among the different corners of school, so you're never always in one corner. You're always visiting different sections and seeing different types of people doing different types of activities. And so in that sense, Stanford is very connected and makes sure that their students are trying out different types of classes, and that all the programs are also multidisciplinary. And so you're never bored when you're at Stanford because there's always something to see and there's always something to do. Just a quick profile. This is the profile of the class going in, and there is a 7.1% admission rate, and this is not to scare anybody about not applying to Stanford. I still strongly suggest you apply. But 52% of the freshmen entering are male, and 48% of the entering class are female. And according to the profile, again, I picked out the ones talking about majors again because it shows that 33% are attending School of Humanities and Sciences versus a 14% of students studying engineering and a 2% studying sciences. But then also this very bottom line about undeclared, 51%. So this is not to scare anybody. You can also apply undeclared if you really don't know what you want to do and just want to explore your interests. But if you have a very clear vision of what you want to do and what your passion is, don't be afraid to declare something when you're applying for college. So the good thing about why Stanford is compared to UCLA, Stanford is very, very close to us. So if you really want to go home and use free laundry, this is your chance to apply to Stanford. If your parents are very worried about you, this is also the reason why you apply to Stanford. Why Stanford? So it's always very nice to be recognized for your work at Stanford, so they always put pictures of you. And this is a very big contrast from when I was at UCLA, because UCLA is a very big school, there's lots of people in your classes. Compared to Stanford here, Stanford is a 5-student to 1 teacher ratio, so the classes are very small. Teachers know your name, which was very new to me because I didn't know anybody else's name when I was at UCLA, so that's a very stark contrast. The campus, it's always nice. The grass is always green. And this is a picture of me at the electrical engineering school, even though I have nothing to do with electrical engineering, but it just shows that I had a class in that building, and so there's always lots of different things that you can try. Other things about Stanford, I've already said it's very beautiful. There's a lot of art, sculptures at Stanford. Even the sewage plate has decorations on it. So I'm sure they probably don't tell you this when you go on a tour, but you should definitely look at very little details that you see on campus. Everything is very beautiful. And so I had a couple slides that kind of gives tips about how to get into college and survive college. So just be very brief. We're all here today to learn more about the different types of colleges and what's there. And so this is good. This is everyone's first step into actually researching what's there, what's out there. Because after you can research, you can figure out your time management skills. How am I going to sort out all my research? how am I going to, think about all the different things that I have to prepare for in order to get into college. And I think these time management skills is one thing that ShareWorld will help you a lot with. And then afterwards is writing. I think that's also where ShareWorld comes in and helps you with all the college prep and the tutors here, how to write all this stuff and how to prepare yourself better. And don't be shy, be proactive, ask the right questions, don't always cover your eyes. And then, what are you going to be doing this summer? Are you going to be doing nothing like Snoopy and just sit on his little house? Or are you going to be like Charlie Brown and actually, be proactive and do something about your summer? So this is a good time. I see lots of people here, lots of people smiling. And so this is a good time for everybody to start thinking about college, start thinking about what you want to do, and ShareWorld is going to take you there.